Hello everyone, and thank you again for joining me on this next video. Today I want to talk about consciousness as it relates to other dimensions, but specifically in this video I'm going to really harness in on loved ones who have crossed over. So if you have family or friends who have died and obviously you're still alive, I'm going to talk a little bit about consciousness as it relates to your experience and their experience as we know it today. So I'm sure, sorry, my crystal's right here. I always like to hold my crystal when I speak because I feel more fluid with it. So if you see my hands in the air, I'm fine. I'm just holding. Okay, so I'm sure we can all relate to having someone very close to us, near and dear to our heart, pass away. And with the sadness, usually after the experience has somewhat subsided, does come some relief because now we know we have someone on the other side that can help us. And of course, we can only hope for that from our current awareness. And so, like many of us, when someone very close to us, which usually, not all the time, but usually is someone who is older than us. So generally, we naturally assume, with age comes wisdom. And to some degree, that's accurate, yes. I do not want to diminish that truth. But what I do want to say here, which is the whole basis of this video, and again, I don't want to offend anybody, I just want to speak truth. The reality is that we die with the level of consciousness that we entered and left this incarnation with. And let me restate that because it's so important, it's so critical for all of us to really grasp that concept. I'm gonna say it again. So when we enter this world, this physical body, and yes, we enter as a baby, right? And we grow and we develop and we just get to these pieces, milestones and benchmarks of our life. And when that moment comes where it's our time to go, die, not our body is, it's the time for the body to die. And it doesn't always mean, old age. So I don't want to go into that just right now. So when we die here on earth, we do exit with our consciousness level that we entered this world with. And of course, when we enter, we obviously evolve that consciousness. And so where we enter and depending upon the life lessons that we overcome, the experiences that we go through, usually for the most part, all humanity, every human being does evolve, right? Now, let me also be clear. When we evolve, there are, I don't want to say parameters because that sounds like we're boxing us into a box and where there's no box. But before we even came into this world, we kind of already knew where we were consciously. I mean, it only makes sense, right? So when we leave here, even if we've accomplished everything, or if we didn't accomplish anything, there's gonna be a window of consciousness that we're gonna fall into, right, when we leave. And even if we compare someone who doesn't accomplish anything consciously, and we look at someone who's accomplished and evolved and transformed amazing things consciously, regardless, the point is that regardless of any human being, when you come into this earth and when you leave this earth, there is only so much of a window that you will have evolved to based on where you began. And so that is the very point that I wanted to like drive home, not to hurt anyone's feelings or to over dramatize this, but this is critical because we naturally think as human beings that, oh well, my mom died, my grandfather died, and now, you know, they can help me, right? Because I'm still alive, or whatever it may be. These are just random ideas, examples. Everyone can relate in their own way to their own experience. And now you have someone on the other side that can help guide you and lead you. And now they have information that you don't have. And if you were extra close to them, you know, right? You know that they're gonna help do whatever it takes to help you because they want you to succeed. And just saying that, like, it's a natural idea that we imagine that they cross over and all of a sudden have like access to like just everything. The truth is, and like I said, I didn't want to create a video on this until after I had like 1000% like certainty in my heart, because I don't ever take a side on something or a stance until I know intuitively 100% for me and my soul that yes, this is accurate. And so that's why this particular video, I took a long time before I chose to actually create it. So what I want to say, or what I'm trying to say, is this. We don't just jump into higher consciousness when we cross over. I know that it would be easy to assume and think that once we die, or when someone dies, that all of a sudden they have access to the information from the other side, the other realm. The truth is, the reality is, and the real depth is that they keep that level of consciousness all the way through. Because when they came in here, that is where they began. There are some exceptions, very few and far in between, so I don't want to say it's the end all be all. There are a few exceptions where someone will choose to incarnate on a lower consciousness level, but only those who can do that have already attained higher levels of consciousness and who've already learned many of those life lessons that human being, or that body, that soul would be faced with. So hopefully that does not like confuse you, but for the most part, on a average level, the soul, the person who lived this life, who died, they die with that same level of consciousness. And when they, you know, quote unquote cross over, they actually maintain that level of awareness. And that's what this video is about, because we want to assume, and it's natural, it's innate in us. We want to say, oh my God, now I have somebody over there that can help guide me, give me information, solutions, answers, something, right? And that's natural. So don't beat yourself up if you've thought that. The reality is they will absolutely protect you. Yes, they're gonna protect you in the way they know how to. They're gonna be in your corner in whatever level they have to be, and they know how to be. Yes, but if you have questions, and when you were here, when they were alive, and you had a higher consciousness level, they will not have those answers. And I'm not saying this to be ugly. I'm saying this because it's just the truth. You can ask a deceased loved one who has crossed over or passed on, but if you have always maintained, like when they were alive and when you were alive, if you were someone who's always had a significant gap in conscious awareness, let's even say somewhere between small and medium gap. Now, if it's a very tiny gap, you're not gonna notice, and so that's not gonna really apply, and you can't really look at it. But like, let's just take average people who have somewhere between, you know, a medium level difference, and even those, like I've experienced my own large gaps of awareness where you're like, you want them to come to you, and then their only answer to you is that they understand that you're asking questions that you want answers to. They understand that they don't have the answers. And they also understand in that very moment that they don't have the answers because they're not at that level. And yes, they have to like communicate that to you, or at least, I mean, in my own experience, it's like an intuitive knowing. We know that it's a mutual knowingness, right? It doesn't mean they don't serve a purpose. They can still help you, but like, they're not going to be able to give you what you need because they're not at that level. So even if you think they're crossed over, they have access to other information that they should have access to, right? Which is natural and normal. I mean, I would think that. It's like, okay, I think that for sure. Like, come here and like, where are you? Come talk to me. I have all these questions. Like, and I have many questions. I have many questions, but I have to also accept that in this earthly experience, if they didn't have higher consciousness, when they die and they've crossed over, they're still not gonna have more information than you do. Again, it's not to be ugly or insensitive, it's just to be real about this. And so if you're not looking for this information, then it's not gonna matter where their consciousness level is at. But if this is something that resonates to you, that you've wondered, you've thought about, why can't they give you answers? Why can't they help you out on difficult things? And you understand this message, then this message is for you. And so, like I said, I hope that today in this video that I was able to share parts of my own experience that I've held back because, well, mostly out of respect. I was hesitant because I really wanted to believe that when you cross over, you have a little bit more access to more information. And I just had to really come to terms and accept that no. And it's not really for me coming to terms and accepting. I actually had like maybe 3 to 4 moments where like I was downloaded or like guided like information like on normal days where I was not even thinking about this concept. It would just be like Katrina, this person can't help you. They can't. They would love to. They want to support you. They want to help you, but they don't have like the other piece. And like, initially I was like, what do you mean? They should. But no, I had to really just like accept for a long time that, yeah, you can be younger and have like a parent or a grandfather or an aunt or an uncle or someone older than you that you really, really were close to die, but they're just not going to have more awareness, more access to more information. They're not going to be able to help you in the way that you might think they can if you are the one that has the higher awareness. Now, if you're the opposite and you don't have the higher awareness, they absolutely can help you. But if you are in like my shoes, and like many people, I think, who are looking for answers or who hope they can get like additional guidance or additional feedback or something, and the result is they know what you're up to, but they just can't, they're not there. I feel bad a little bit because it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. But I have to surrender and accept that, yeah, this is just how it is. So thank you for watching, and if you like my videos, value my authenticity, how sincere and vulnerable I am when I share my thoughts, please subscribe, please share. Thank you.